Denise, joining us now is Mary Blankenship. She is a researcher at UNLV's Brookings Mountain West, specializing in social media misinformation, also a native of Ukraine. And Mary, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You've been analyzing social media. What are you seeing in terms of the war and the invasion of Ukraine in terms of misinformation and disinformation?
Well, the majority of the tweets, for example, and the posts online are standing in support and solidarity of Ukraine.
Yes.
Quite a lot of it is propaganda, disinformation, misinformation, meant to show the motivation of the Russian aggression, but also intimidate the Ukrainian troops and people into submission into Russia.
How can people tell the difference in terms of the legitimacy of what they're seeing?
Well, that can be very difficult. And so one of the things that is possible to do is check for the original source.
Right.
Go to the original source as much as possible. And then also look for local sources as well. They have the tendency to show the most accurate and up-to-date data on what is going on with the conflicts.
Mary, you make such a good point there, because you're talking about even today news outlets in Russia shut down, Facebook and Twitter shut down. So the need for real authentic information in this war is so essential, isn't it?
Yes, one of the big components of this war is the information warfare that is going on. And that is a strong suit of Russia. But we're noticing within this conflict that a lot of media, especially foreign media and Western media, is catching up. So they're really struggling to pass on their messages.
If I could pivot topics a bit, you are from Ukraine. You have seen your people and their fight. We've all seen it. These are very hardy, courageous, brave people. Talk a little bit about the men and women that have just amazed the world in the past couple of weeks with their resilience. I'm so happy that people are finally starting to see just how amazing Ukrainians are. And I've never been prouder to be Ukrainian. It's really painful to watch as a Ukrainian abroad, and I think for also a lot of Ukrainian Americans to see so many people in my country struggle needlessly. And again, when we look into this, we look at Putin's despotic views. This is really just about Ukraine wanting to be free and independent and considering NATO and considering ideals of the West. It's really just about a country wanting to do what they want to do.
Oh yes, and Putin uses these excuses to validate his aggression, but if you pay attention to the language that he uses in his speeches and in the articles that he publishes, it's really about reforming the Soviet Union. It's pure a power grab and nothing else, which makes it so much more evil.
Last question, what can our viewers that are watching and they want to help, but they want to make sure it's a legitimate source to help, what can we do? Where can we find ways to help?
There are many ways viewers can help. First and foremost is to show your solidarity with Ukraine. The biggest thing that is keeping Ukraine from surrendering is the sheer will and determination of the people. So they need to know that the world is behind them. But then, of course, there are more practical ways to help, including donating for military and medical supplies. For example, there is First Friday tonight that is selling art and proceeds that will be donated to different charities. You can also, there's a rally tomorrow at City Hall that people can go to show their support and go outreach their local governments.
Mary, thank you so much. I know you have family and friends in central Ukraine as well as Odessa. We are thinking about all the people of Ukraine. We thank you so much for being here and spending some time and lending your expertise. We're going to send it back over now to Denise.